The tennis world is currently in a state of absolute shock, and if you have not been paying close attention to the whispers coming out of the professional locker rooms, you are completely unprepared for what is about to happen on the court in Stuttgart. We're looking at a first-round matchup that, on paper, seems like a competitive battle between two of the brightest young stars in the Women's Tennis Association. On one side, you have Leylah Fernandez, the former US Open finalist, a player known for her incredible grit, her magical run in New York, and her relentless fighting spirit that has earned her respect across the tour. On the other side stands Alexandra Eala, the rising prodigy from the Philippines, the pride of the Rafa Nadal Academy, and a player who is rapidly transforming from a highly touted junior prospect into an absolute nightmare for the established veterans of the WTA. But here is the brutal, unfiltered reality that the mainstream tennis media is too terrified to say out loud. This match is already over. It is done. Before the coin is even tossed, before the first warm-up ball is struck, the tactical and physical geometry of this specific matchup has completely predetermined the outcome. Top tennis analysts, the people who actually study the raw data, the spin rates, the biomechanics, and the court positioning, are quietly guaranteeing that Alex Eala is not just going to beat Leylah Fernandez. She is going to completely and utterly destroy her in the first 30 minutes of the match. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today, we are diving deep into the tactical mismatch of the year. We are going to break down exactly why Leylah's greatest weapons are completely useless here, how Eala's specific brand of heavy, aggressive baseline tennis is pure poison for Fernandez, and why the experts are predicting an absolute bloodbath. Grab a seat, hit that subscribe button, and let's get into the deepest tactical breakdown on YouTube. To truly comprehend why the experts are predicting such a swift, violent, and completely one-sided demolition, we first have to take a microscope to the absolute physical evolution of Alexandra Eala. For years, the tennis world has known about Eala. She was the junior Grand Slam champion. She was the immensely talented teenager from the Philippines carrying the weight of an entire nation's expectations on her incredibly young shoulders. But the player stepping onto the court right now is not a junior anymore. She has undergone a terrifying physical and tactical transformation at the Rafa Nadal Academy in Mallorca. When you train under the umbrella of Rafael Nadal, you do not just learn how to hit a tennis ball. You learn how to suffer. You learn how to endure. And most importantly, you learn how to inflict overwhelming physical punishment on your opponent. Eala has packed on serious muscle to her frame, completely transforming her kinetic chain. Her baseline power has skyrocketed, but it is not just flat, mindless power. It is heavy, vicious, violently rotating topspin. When Eala strikes her forehand, the ball bites into the court and explodes upward with a trajectory that is incredibly difficult for smaller, lighter players to handle. She does not just hit through the court. She hits heavy through the court. This is a critical distinction in modern tennis. You can have all the timing in the world, but if your opponent is sending a bowling ball heavily loaded with topspin at your shoulders every single rally, your timing is going to break down. Your footwork is going to completely collapse. And eventually, your willpower is going to shatter. Eala has effectively weaponized her baseline game, turning her ground strokes into relentless, heavy artillery fire that forces her opponents behind the baseline, entirely dictating the terms of engagement from the very first strike. Now, let us look at the other side of the net and analyze the glaring fundamental vulnerability of Leylah Fernandez. Nobody is questioning Leylah's heart. Nobody is questioning her fight. Her magical run to the US Open final in 2021 was built on an incredible ability to take the ball insanely early on the rise, completely robbing her opponents of recovery time and redirecting their own pace into the open court. Leylah Fernandez is a counterpuncher who relies on impeccable timing, incredibly fast-twitch footwork, and the ability to absorb and redirect flat power. But that entire system, that entire carefully constructed house of cards, relies on one specific condition. It relies on the incoming ball being in her strike zone, around waist height, where she can step in and dictate the angle. What happens when you take Leylah Fernandez and force her to constantly hit balls that are kicking up above her shoulders? What happens when she cannot step into the court because the raw weight of the incoming shot pushes her 3 or 4 feet behind the baseline? The entire system completely collapses. Fernandez is not a big, powerful player. She does not possess the raw upper body strength to consistently muscle heavy topspin balls back deep into the court when she is forced onto her back foot. And this is exactly why the experts are pointing to a 30-minute destruction. Eala's specific, heavy topspin baseline game is the absolute kryptonite to Leylah Fernandez's timing-based redirect game. Eala is not going to give Leylah the flat, waist-high ball. She needs to work her magic. Eala is going to bury her deep in the corners with high bouncing, heavy rotation ground strokes, effectively completely disarming the former Grand Slam finalist and forcing her into a defensive, scrambling nightmare from the opening game. But the absolute biggest tactical nightmare for Leylah Fernandez in this specific matchup is something that casual tennis fans completely overlook. It is the dynamic of the lefty versus lefty matchup. Leylah Fernandez's entire career, her greatest wins, and her deepest tournament runs have been heavily predicated on the ultimate lefty advantage. In the WTA Tour, being left-handed is a massive, inherent weapon. Leylah has made a living torturing right-handed players with her sliding lefty serve out wide on the ad court, completely pulling right-handers off the court and exposing their weaker backhands. She uses her lefty forehand cross-court to absolutely terrorize the right-handed backhand, dictating play and opening up the entire geometry of the court. But against Alexandra Eala, that entire tactical playbook is completely and utterly useless.
Why?
Because Alexandra Eala is also left-handed. The geometry completely flips. When Leylah hits her favorite slider serve out wide on the ad court, it does not go to a vulnerable, reaching right-handed backhand. It goes directly into the absolute striking zone of Alexandra Eala's lethal lefty forehand. It is like throwing raw meat to a starving lion. Eala will absolutely obliterate that serve down the line. When Leylah tries to use her heavy cross-court forehand, it feeds directly into Eala's incredibly stable, rock-solid two-handed backhand. All of the inherent, built-in advantages that Leylah Fernandez usually enjoys before the match even starts are completely neutralized. She is suddenly forced to play a neutral baseline game against a player who hits a significantly heavier, more powerful ball. It strips away Fernandez's magic tricks and forces her into a raw, physical baseline war of attrition, a war that her lighter frame and redirect-dependent playstyle are simply not mathematically equipped to win against the heavy artillery of Alexandra Eala. But let me be honest, this isn't about tennis anymore. This is about pure psychological warfare and the crushing weight of trajectory. When you step onto a professional tennis court, the actual strokes you hit are only 50% of the equation. The other 50% is entirely dictated by where your mind is, where your confidence is, and the invisible momentum of your current career trajectory. Leylah Fernandez has been carrying the agonizing, suffocating burden of trying to replicate the magic of her US Open run for years. Every time she steps on the court, she is fighting the ghost of her past self, constantly analyzing why the magic is not consistently there. That creates a deep underlying tension, a hesitation, a fear of losing matches she is theoretically supposed to win based on her ranking and her history. On the exact opposite end of the psychological spectrum, you have Alexandra Eala. Eala is the hunter. She has absolutely zero scar tissue on the professional tour. She is not defending a massive reputation. She is building an empire. She has the entire, incredibly passionate nation of the Philippines standing directly behind her, feeding her an endless supply of energy and belief. Eala steps onto the court with the terrifying, unburdened freedom of a young predator who knows her weapons are getting sharper every single day. She does not doubt her heavy forehand. She does not question her physical conditioning. She steps onto the baseline with absolute supreme confidence that she can physically break the player across the net. When the match begins and Leylah Fernandez realizes in the very first 3 games that her lefty serve is not working, that her timing is being disrupted by heavy topspin, and that she is being physically bullied around the baseline, panic is going to set in. And in professional tennis, when panic sets in against an opponent who is smelling blood in the water, 30 minutes is exactly how long it takes for the first set to completely vanish and for the match to be effectively over. Let us dive even deeper into the specific, merciless mechanics of why this match is going to be a sprint to the finish line, and why that 30-minute window is the ultimate danger zone. In modern WTA tennis, The concept of first-strike tennis is the absolute holy grail of analytics. The player who dictates the first aggressive shot in the rally wins the point over 70% of the time. Alex Eala's entire game is beautifully, violently constructed to win the first strike battle against a player like Leylah. When Fernandez serves, her second serve is notoriously vulnerable. It sits up in the box, lacks heavy penetration, and often relies on placement over raw pace. Eala, positioned aggressively on the baseline, is going to step inside the court and completely devour those second serves. She is not going to just block them back to start a neutral rally. She is going to take a massive, aggressive cut at the return, instantly putting Fernandez on the defensive before she even lands from her service motion. The pressure on Leylah to hit perfect, pinpoint first serves will become completely suffocating. And when you're forced to hit perfect first serves just to survive, your first serve percentage inevitably plummets. Once the rally neutralizes, the court positioning battle will dictate the massacre. Eala's footwork has reached an elite level under the Spanish clay court philosophy taught at the Nadal Academy. She slides into her shots, establishes an incredibly wide, incredibly stable base, and completely transfers her body weight through the contact zone. Leylah, attempting to hold her ground on the baseline to take the ball early, will be forced to hit half volleys off Eala's heavy, dipping topspin. Hitting half volleys off flat pace is difficult. Hitting them off heavy, kicking topspin is virtually impossible to do consistently over the course of a match. Leylah will inevitably start shanking the ball, hitting the tape, or popping the ball up short. The moment Fernandez drops a ball short inside the service line, Eala will punish it with ruthless clinical efficiency. The tactical trap is completely set. Leylah cannot move back because she lacks the raw,